Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Oil change on a 2017 Suburban. It's the same thing for a bunch of model years. Yukons, Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon XL, Denali, whatever you got. A bunch of Silverados and Sierras. It's all the same. 5.3 motors, 4.8 motors, V8s. Super easy. Let me run with you real quick. I actually was at Walmart with my wife. Picked up some supplies at Walmart. It's actually cheaper to get the oil there than the auto parts stores. But let me run through you real quick. Show you how to change the oil on my 2017 Suburban. All right, so hitting the aisles at the Walmart. Now, this Suburban calls for 0W20 synthetic. Now, the cheapest they got there is the Walmart brand. That's like only $18, $19 a jug. I always run Royal Purple. Don't ask me why. I've had good luck with it in the past. It's just like a fishing lure you caught fish with. I like to stick with it. And that's $37.56 at Walmart. Also, got to grab a filter. One of the ones they had to fit that Suburban is the Mobile One M12112A at Wally World. You can see there it's 11 bucks. All right, so I'm in the middle of moving. A bunch of my stuff has been packed up for like a month. So I can't find my oil pan jug that I normally drain the oil into. So I just rolled up to AutoZone, and assuming my other one's packed away somewhere, then I'll just have two of them. We can do two oil changes at the same time. But I just rolled up to AutoZone, about to get me a brand new one of those plastic little buckets to catch all the oil. And I couldn't find my oil filter wrench either, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these vice grips. Alright, so this Suburban is a Premier model, so it has that little front lip on the bottom that makes it harder to crawl under. If you got the LS, LT, you don't even need ramps, but for this one I got ramps. Now here's everything you're going to need. Takes 8 quarts, so I got 10 quarts of oil. A new oil filter. An oil filter wrench makes things easier, especially if somebody cranked that filter on. Then a jug, and that drain plug is a 15 millimeter. Also, what's a 15 millimeter in the US? You might also be able to use a 9/16 or a 19/32 wrench, but here's how you find what you need. So right behind the tire there, looking from the front, where's the oil plug? So if you start from the tire, go over, you can see right there, there's that white Napa oil filter. That's the filter we're going to be changing. Just beside it, you can see that silver on the black oil pan. That is the oil drain plug. So let's get to it. They got this way too tight. Can't get the angle with the pipe. Spent another 15 minutes finding my tools, but I should be able to get that drain plug off with just a wrench. But impact driver with a 15 millimeter socket, it's probably something like a 7/16 or something, but a 15 will fit it. Really. Give it more juice. Whoa. You saw how hard the impact had to work to break that off. Way too tight. Way too tight. That's ridiculous. Had to use the impact, and the impact took like 30 seconds of bucket before it could break this loose. This was way too tight. You ought to be able to get it with just your hand tools. And that was way too tight. Now we got to get this filter off. I'm gonna let most of this drain out here. Then I'll grab the filter. Don't lose your drain plug. Got my Seeing how tight that was, this filter's probably on way too tight too. Hand tight's all you need on there. Of course, now I got my hands all slippery because this mess. Yep, that's barely budging at all, so filter's on too tight. So last time I take this car to one of those little shops, what a joke. Supposed to be a 10-minute oil change, and it's turning into an hour again. Way too tight. Okay. Love you. I'm never taking this car to an oil change shop again. They always do it wrong. This thing was probably like 3 turns too tight. Ridiculous. Gonna drop that into the, then we're gonna let it make a mess here for a minute. At least on this Chevy, the oil doesn't drip all over everything. Some cars like my Ranger, man, you get oil all over the cross member. It's just a nasty mess. Filter down in the pan and grab the new filter. Let me go get a rag. We're gonna let that keep dripping for a little bit. All right, now we're just about done dripping everywhere, so I'm gonna wipe everything down. That way I'll know that if I have an oil leak, it'll be new oil dripping from somewhere and not just oil from where I changed the oil and made a mess. Now, I'm gonna put the drain plug back in. Make sure you got the threads in there good. Hand tight. Don't get your impact out like those goobers did. I'm probably going to have to replace that drain plug. And got my new filter to screw on where I just showed you. If I don't say this, I'm gonna get 1,000 comments of this, and I hate those comments. So a lot of people will tell you, Get some oil and dab your finger in it and rub it around that O-ring so it won't dry out. If I don't say that, there'll be 5,000 old fuds telling me, you're supposed to put the oil on the O-ring. Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but a lot of people will tell you to do that. Same thing here. Make sure you've got the threads on there good. Don't cross thread it. And then we're going to get it hand tight there. I'm not going to grab a power tool and give it way too much, but I am going to grab a rag because my hands are slippery and get me a little bit more grip and just cinch it down there just a smidge more. Tighter than I could with just my slippery hands there. And that's all you need. You don't need a wrench with a ton of leverage on there. That's all you need now. I am going to, where's my wrench? See, now I done lost my wrench. Put this on low power now. I'm going to be lazy. My whole complaint to this video is they did this stuff too tight. Now I'm going to do the same thing because I don't want to get up and find my wrench again. Oh, just kidding. Here's my wrench here in the grass. I'm going to tighten it just with this, not with the impact. These goobers get all happy with their impact drivers. That's plenty tight right there with the hand tools. Drain plug is in right there. New oil filter's in. Now we just got to fill it up with oil again. And I'm going to give it one last little wipe down here just so we know. While you're under here, it's a good time to look for leaks. You can see right here, looks like this Suburban has a slow rear main seal leak. It's probably going to be the next thing that we'll have done whenever we feel froggy, but it's not leaking out on the driveway yet. So, oh, there we go, dripping my rag down in the bucket. Smooth move. Let's get that out of the way. All right, now we drained all the oil. We gotta put oil back in it. So on the right hand side there, you can see your oil cap. It says 0W20. That's what we picked up. Now we're gonna grab that what you call that thing, funnel, and stick it down in the hole once we get the cap out. And then we're gonna fill this motor back up with oil. Like I said earlier, this is a 5.3 liter Chevy, and if you change the filter, the book calls for 8 quarts. So we're going to put 8 quarts of this 0W20 synthetic back in this motor. I let it drain a whole bunch, so I'm going to start off with about 7.5 quarts and then just check the levels and make sure we got it full of all the oil that it needs. Alright, so I got her fired up, try to check the oil. It's right beside where we put it in. Grab that yellow handle, pull it out. There'll be 2 dots on the very end of that stick there. And you want the oil to be in the middle of that, down there on the bottom between those 2 dots. And that'll tell you, yep, you got enough oil on there. Most of these models have an oil pressure gauge. Make sure you check the oil pressure and make sure you got oil pressure. It ought to be up around the 40 mark or in the middle on the gauge. And here's a quick look at all that oil, 8 quarts of oil that come out of that Suburban. It was definitely overdue. Yucky. All right, now when you're done changing the oil, yep, my wife put this little bedazzled thing on there. When you're done changing the oil, you gotta reset the oil change interval thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the Suburban on. It's gonna load up. We wanna see that oil pressure come back up again. Yep. Now I have the habit of keeping it on this screen because I want to see how many miles I got left. I pretty much never look at an oil or a fuel gauge anymore. I like to see this for whatever reason. but we want to reset the oil change thing. So I'm going to come up here to my steering wheel, and this is going to toggle up or down that page. So I'm just going to go down from there. The remaining oil life says 94%, but that is because I reset it because I was getting super annoyed every time I go to drive the car and it'd say, emergency, emergency, you need to change your oil. So here's how you're going to reset that. You're going to come back to your steering wheel here. Once you're on that oil life screen, hold down the check mark. It takes a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds or so of holding it in. You'll hear that beep, and then bada bing, bada boom. It is going to tell you 100% because you just changed the oil, buddy. Yeah, man. But hey, changing your oil is always best. You know, you put new oil in it. You know, you put a filter in it. You know, you didn't tighten the filter too tight. You know, you didn't cross thread the drain plug, so on and so forth. You go to one of those places, you know, you hope they did a good job. You hope they put the right oil in it. You hope they actually put oil in it. But yeah, also it's cheaper to do it yourself. So this did take 8 quarts of Royal Purple, which is roughly $50, but you could do 8 quarts of Walmart brand, or Mobile One's cheaper, and that's a good oil. A lot of these oils are actually made at the same place, and they just swap a different label on it and charge you twice as much. I'd be fine putting the Walmart oil in this if I had to, but I just got thing for that Royal Purple stuff, whatever. Anyways, so you can change the oil. If you use the Walmart oil, it would only cost you $50 to change this oil. Because I use a little bit more expensive oil, it still cost me, you know, $70 or so. But those little drive-through quick change places, for this Suburban, last time my wife took this to one of those, it was $125. So for less than half the money, if you got 30 minutes, which you can do it faster than that, you can do it 10 minutes a time on a weekend, which everybody does, change your oil and save yourself $50-$60 every time. I drive a lot. I do a lot of oil changes, and that saves me a lot of money. But hey, appreciate you watching WHOTEEWHO'S Garage. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll have a list down below of everything I use in this video that you can pick up if you're feeling froggy about it. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. WHOTEEWHO.